How you doing?
Good. Does the game day routine change for you at all over the years, or is it the same old, same old?
That's the same old, same old. I mean, this is year 10 for me, so I have a routine that I stick with and try to stay with. So just to help me stay ready.
How much has it during camp? You know, we've heard a lot from Eric about how nice it is to have Elena playing every day, practicing every day. As another post player, like how much does that help you having that consistency of having her there?
I mean, it's great. I mean, she's one of the best players in the world. So it's always great when she's, healthy and able to be out there with us. She just brings so much to the game. I mean, with her, not just with her skills, with her veteran leadership, with her voice. She's great for us.
And last thing for me, just, we see Eric in practice, obviously, but you have a lot more experience and done a lot of years. Can you tell us what is he like as a head coach?
He's been great. He's been crushing it. And it makes me proud just because I've been with the organization so long that I've been able to work with him in different capacities. So to see him as a head coach, like, it's just a very proud moment for me. And, he's confident, he knows what he's talking about. And, I trust him as a head coach.
It's gonna be weird not to hear Mike on the sideline.
It's weird anyway, because he's not really talking. I mean, he's in practice, but he doesn't talk in practice. So it's still a little weird, but I like it.
Tianna, I know Eric's been saying we need to focus on ourselves and being another team, not worry what's going on elsewhere. But it's opening day, you're going against the new super team, if you will, in New York. You just got to a very competitive training camp. The sport is really rising, hitting like an apex at this point with the way that people are following it. Is it hard not to get excited and get energetic into this when you have to focus on?
It's the first game, so we're going to be excited, energetic. But I think the biggest thing, we have to stay true to ourselves. We've spent some time in training camp with getting to know one another, to trying to build chemistry and just competing with one another. So I think that's just going to allow us to, settle in today's first game, and just play Mystics basketball.
Your initial first game of the season, what's the expectation like when you guys get on the court?
I think the expectation is and has been to be who we are, to work on the things that we need to work on, and to just make sure that we stick to our game plan and know our personnel.
The season's over, media days pass, all the, you guys have to kind of flip the switch tonight and then get serious?
It's been serious since day one. So no, we're more than ready, we're more than capable. So it's just one of those things, we gotta take it one day at a time, one game at a time. And in New York is our first game.
About talent, what is it gonna take to get the win tonight against the Stars?
Well, it's gonna take a team effort. It's not a situation where you just walk in and get a win. So it's gonna take a team effort. We're gonna stick to our game plan and just go out there, be very energetic and just ready from tip.
Any other in-person questions? I think that's it then. Thanks, Tianna.
Thank you. Oh yeah, easy.
Oh, Eric, Nana was saying earlier, even though she, in the sleep playing time, she still gets butterflies. Any nerves for you at this point? You've done this a million times, but now you're one seat over.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's part of it. Had it when I was an assistant, have it now. I think our players will have it. But that's what's exciting about it. You're in something important, and the building should be buzzing when we walk out. Good way to start the year. And off season feels so long, and then all of a sudden it's here.
When you're trying to prep for this team that's got so many new pieces, but very familiar pieces that you've seen a lot. How did that part go when you don't know exactly what they're going to do, I assume, but still kind of know the pieces that they have?
Yeah, you probably lean in more to personnel as you're planning. We haven't seen them all on the court yet. Sloot didn't play the preseason games. It was more of their group for their second preseason game, so you can get a little bit of a feel. But Sandy's been in the league a long time. Their vets have been in the league a long time. So like I've said all week, it's the first of several times we'll play them. So there'll be a little feeling out today, and then we just want to compete, keep it simple and compete.
Yep. How does your game day routine change? Obviously, I didn't see you warming anybody up today, but
I know it's weird. It's super weird.
So what does your day look like now, and how is that different?
So the only real difference, Because when I go home for a little bit, there was a 4-month-old sitting there. But other than that, it's about the same. Got my game day tennis in, and we're back.
How much should we expect? You know, I know Christy's been kind of ramping up a little slower. How much should we expect to see her tonight? Is there a minutes limit or anything?
Nothing, no hard limits. I mean, it's, not just her, but a few people that we just kind of have a range we'd like to see him play in. But a lot of it's just going to be how she's feeling out there when she's running up and down. And, in some ways that's easier for her than doing a lot of the drills with a lot of cutting in the half court and all that. So I'm sure adrenaline will carry her a bit as well.
Last thing for me, with Lee making the team, is she gonna miss any time for like Chinese national team commitments?
There's some things being worked on. I'm not going to speak about them now. Yep. I don't have a clear answer. Yep.
Coach, speaking of Christy, what are your expectations for the point guard / facilitator role tonight? You didn't get minutes there.
Yeah, I mean, Tosh and Slim will start together. Then we'll probably stagger them a bit. And then, Christy will probably play a bit with each of them. So we'll have multiple ball handlers on the court. And I think, Ariel and Shatori have taken turns getting some reps. We want to be a team where anybody can bring it, whether it's off the glass or as an outlet. So, but I think, Tosh, Slim, Christy will be doing most of the kind of traditional point guard stuff.
Last thing, with the league and women's basketball overall gaining greater awareness and coverage, it also comes with greater scrutiny. Can you speak to the mental toll that it takes on players or coaches, and what do you think coaches and players should do about that?
Wow, that's a big question. I think there's a lot more different pressures maybe than there used to be when you throw social media in the mix and everything being scrutinized. It's literally changing our brains. But, I think people are also more aware of it. As an organization, we're more aware of it. I think we've always been good about making sure that we could draw a line between basketball and the rest of our lives and having time for both. But I think the most important thing is to get around understanding people. I think we have always said with this group, journey and enjoying the time together is as important as the results. So I think that's a good place to start. But I don't know if I can fix the whole thing.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
How you doing?
What's up, Wayne?
I mean, the question for you, with the emotion so high, opening game, you want to set the tone, but also keep the emotions in check, not to spill over early foul trouble. How do you kind of manage that? We want the passion, but with the crowd behind, how do you kind of challenge that first few challenges that they go through?
I think it's just a challenge in general. Maybe it amplifies more on opening night, but when you get to, later parts of the season, big games, playoff games, that's a skill you need to have worked on. So it's kind of our first rep of that in a live setting this year, of being able to play hard with intensity, but keep a cool head.
I would say trust the work. I ask you this all the time, but as you come into this first game of the season, what do you feel like the biggest trust aspect of this Washington team is?
I think we're getting better being connected, talking to each other. We have a group that likes to defend, so believing in each other on that end of the court and letting some of our offense flow from that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, sorry, over here.
Jonathan Tannehill with Philadelphia Flyers.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you?
You were talking about New York a couple minutes earlier. Obviously, there's so much noise around, so many people who want not just a super team, but a super team in New York specifically to be the flagship, get the TV deal, do all these different things that they hope they can do. You've been to the mountaintop with this organization. You've seen what it takes to get there. A lot of these players were part of that team a few years ago. When you look at all of that, having been there, what do you see?
You need to do a lot of things right. You got to have unselfish people that are bought into the team goals, which, as far as I can tell, New York does. And, that's always been a goal for this group. And then you got to, quite frankly, be a little lucky along the way as well, whether it's with injuries or having a couple breaks go your way, or in our case, having 4 days between games 2 and 3 of the finals so that our injured people got a couple extra days. So, some of that you can't control. You just try to put yourself in the best position. I think New York has, obviously had a great offseason, and just like us, they're now trying to, pull everybody in the same direction.
Is there any in your locker room? I'm sure there will be in plenty of sports. They can talk all they want. Let's go through the wrong sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think we've done a little talking too, so I can't act we're above it. Yeah, no, I mean, I think the biggest focus has been, we got to focus on ourselves. We play, the super teams you've mentioned few times each, and then we play a lot of other games. And, you know, one of the things we've done best over the years is take the one that's right in front of us. So we focus on today, and then we'll get on to our next one.
Eric, has Mike given you any advice? Maybe to use that first coach's challenge?
He has not. We've talked overall strategy on the challenge with our whole group, but no, although I'm sure I will see him across the court waving his arm. But if he does it in the first half, he owes me a coffee. That's our rule. No was the answer. No, sorry.
So is he not behind your bench? Is he gonna have a different seat?
Yeah, he's not behind our bench. Yeah. Probably for the best. Anybody else?
We have one quick question from Zoom. We'll go to Patrick.
Hey, coach, how you doing today?
Hey, Patrick.
All right. Hey, I had a question for you. On media day, you were talking about just the league and the stories that can be told. I was wondering, one of the big storylines, and definitely with the Mystics and with the league, is always the tie with the community. I just wanted to ask you if you could talk about just the importance of, I guess, the involvement and the partnership that you all have with the community.
Yeah, I think it's been important to, you know, the league over the years. I think for years in our league, it was not just the community work, but it was, you know, is our league a business or is it a cause? And I think we've found a nice balance where our players and staff and teams support causes and have advocated for causes. And that's been also good for business. I think we realize you can do both things. And I think, you know, just speaking for our own players, we have, you know, we play our games in one of the most underserved areas of DC. Our players have taken that to heart to try to make a difference here. I think about, you know, Ariel and Tosh and many others who have given their time beyond what's required of, you know, league appearances or marketing deals or anything like that, and feel invested here. It's part of why they like being here, and it's part of why we love having them.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Sure.
I think that's it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Appreciate you.
See you later.
Thank you.